Hello everyone. Welcome to our class of Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Lightroom, and Canva to learn photo editing. This is a beginner level class, so if you're planning to learn photo editing, then you are in the right place. Because in this class, I'm going to be covering up everything to get you started with photo editing. Another thing you have to we have separate sections of this course to cover up 4 of the softwares for photo editing. Let's take a look what you will learn from this class. Introduction to overview of Adobe Illustrator, introduction to vector graphics, basic tools for photo editing in Adobe Illustrator, creating and manipulating shapes, how to mask in Adobe Illustrator, effects in Adobe Illustrator, overview and introduction to Canva, creating designs for social media part 1 and part 2, using templates and elements, collaboration and sharing feature, removing the background, basic adjustments, filters, and effects, introduction and overview of Adobe Lightroom, basic photo organization and import workflow, basic color grading, introduction and overview of Adobe Photoshop, how to remove fonts from a photo, basic photo adjustments, essential tools, and effects. After completing this class, you will be able to navigate popular editing softwares, perform basic edits like cropping and resizing, adjust color and enhance photos, retouch images and remove imperfections, understand and use layer effectively, make precise selections for editing, apply filters and effects creatively, add and manipulate text within images, save and export images in various formats, develop efficient editing workflows, learn basic principles of photo composition. This is a project-based class. So during learning, you will have class project. So what you have learned, you'll be able to participate in class project and you can practice while you are learning. You will have supporting resources in this class, so it will be easier for you to learn. During learning, if you face any issue, if you have any question, then feel free to ask me. I'm always there for you to help you. So let's start learning Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Lightroom, and Canva for photo editing together. Welcome to our introduction and overview of Adobe Illustrator. Well, this is basically a whole part or a different part just about how we can edit our photos using these softwares. Okay. So in this part or in this section, I'm going to show you how you'll be able to edit your photos just by using Adobe Illustrator. But before getting into this whole part or this whole lesson, we have to learn a bit about what Adobe Illustrator is and how is it going to help you to edit your photos in this software. So let's learn what is Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator is a powerful vector graphics editor developed and marketed by Adobe Inc. It's widely used by designers, artists, and illustrators to create scalable graphics for a variety of purposes, including logos, icons, illustrations, and typography. Now, what are the common uses of Adobe Illustrator? Now, logo design, illustrations, typography, icon design, and print design are the most common uses. Illustrator is the go-to tool for creating professional logos due to its scalability and precision. On illustrations, whether it's digital, illustrations for print, or web illustrators offer the tools needed to bring your creative ideas to life. Then typography. Designing custom lettering, typographic posters, or intricate word marks is made easy with Illustrator's typography features. Icon design. Illustrator is perfect for designing icons for websites, apps, and user interfaces, thanks to its vector capabilities. And the last one, which is print design, from business cards to brochures, Illustrator is widely used in print design for its precision and ability to handle CMYK color space. So what are the key features of Adobe Illustrator? Vector graphics, workspace, drawing tools, typography, color and effects, and integration with other Adobe apps. Overall, while Adobe Illustrator is not a replacement for dedicated photo editing software like Adobe Photoshop, but it can still complement photo editing workflows by providing tools for creating vector graphics, masks, overlays, and preparing images for print. So without any further ado, let's just open up Adobe Illustrator on our device. As you can see on my screen right now that I have opened up Adobe Illustrator. Now I'm using Adobe Illustrator 2024. Now, if you do not have any idea or any, experience on Adobe Illustrator, I would suggest you that, get a couple of ideas. But even if you don't, I'm going to show you a couple of things which you can follow by so that you can follow through these lessons and learn how to edit your photos. But if you want to learn all the essentials about Illustrator, well, this is not the exact, course or lesson for this. So make sure to, get a bit more idea or get more familiar with it and then follow by. And if you just want to know about how you can edit your photos, then this is the exact lesson or class for you. Now, the first thing what I'm going to do when showing about the interface and overview is that I'm going to show you a bit about the interface so that you get more idea about it. So first thing is that you are going to try to open up your own project. Now, how would you do that? First off, make sure you're connected with your account and also the internet. Okay. So first thing is that I have 2024 or Illustrator 2024 opened up. Now, first thing you're going to do is going to be opening up a new file. You don't have to go through any of these, okay? You can click on more presets, but that's fine. But you can also do is just click on new file. From here, you are going to select up the preset or the workspace which you need. It could be something for your mobile. It could be something for your web or your printing, purpose or film and video, art and illustration, free template. It's up to you. Choose whichever one you want. So from here, I want maybe a print size could be A4 or stuff. Okay. Now there are a couple of these templates too, but I would not suggest you using that while photo editing. So if you are using Illustrator for photo editing, just make sure to, make yourself up a clean workspace so that you can start working from scratch. Okay. So from here, I'm going to select on A4. And then from here, you can name your preset. Let's say I'm going to name it overview. Okay. On the width, you can fix it up. You can fix the heights, fix in the orientation and how many artboards you want or canvas you want. And you can fix up what type of format do you want. Is you want it on points, pixels, piecast, inches, centimeters, meters. That's up to you. Select up that format. Then select up the bleed if you want to. Select up the color mode. See, we have CMYK on default, but I also try using RGB a couple of times. Well, if you have, let's say a decent or maybe a low-end device, I'm obviously going to suggest you that use RGB because it will allow your PC to optimize your workspace on RGB color space. If you're using CMYK, it will just take a bit more of your, GPU scaling and also a bit of CPU scaling. Okay. So try using that and keep that in mind. Then we have the raster effect the same way. If you have a low-end device, try just keeping it on medium or, on screen or 360 ppi. But if you have a high-end device, then you can go off for 300 ppi. But obviously, I most of the time try using 150 ppi because it just helps me to, keep the workflow more optimized. And then we have is the preview mode. Keep it on default. And you can also go after more settings and check it out. You can customize it, whichever one you want. And after you're done with every one of these customizations, just press on create. Now, after you press on create, you'll basically see this is the type of interface you will see. Now, as this is the type of interface you will see, what you're going to do over here is that first off, fix your workspace. Now, how would you fix your workspace? If you know or if you have any idea about Adobe softwares, first off, what you're going to do is go off the Windows and then you have this workspace option. And from here, you're going to select on Essentials Classic. Now, I use Essentials Classic on whatever I do because it just allows me to see which tool or, a lot of tool on my, screen. It just allows me to do that. So it's just very easy for me to find out that tool and, get access to it easily. So you can try using that if you want to, but if you want any specific ones or which one you feel like it's comfortable, you can also try doing that or customize your workspace. It's up to you. Now, the first thing we have to learn about is going to be our interface, as this is just the overview about Adobe Illustrator. Now you can see at the top, we have a couple of ribbons. We have the file, we have the edits, we have the object, the type, select, effect, view, windows, and help. So what are you going to do on each and every one of them? Now, from the file ribbon, you can also open up new workspaces, new templates, open up your own project, save, close, invite to edit, share it, then apply script, the document setups, print, and also exit. Well, these are the things which you can do just by going through the file tab or the file ribbon. On the edit ribbon, it allows you to edit up your workspace or do a bit of editing, such as cut, copy, paste. Then we have like clear, find, replace, spell checking, editing the colors, transparency, the printing presets, the color settings, the keyboard shortcuts, your own personal settings, preferences, everything will appear on this ribbon. On the object, it's going to have all the commands or tools which you need to customize your object on your workspace. It could either be arranging, aligning, transforming, grouping up. Then we have is expand, crop, rasterize, slice, pixel perfect, blend, envelope, all of those, couple of paths, clipping mask, graph, and also export. Okay. So you will find those over here on this object ribbon or object tab. And the next one we have is the type tab or the type ribbon. In this type ribbon, you will find out fonts, glyphs. Then we have a smart punctuation, retypes, headlines, customization of headlines, missing fonts, outlines, bullets and numberings, special characters, white spaces, break character, hidden character, legacy test, and etc. You can try using that. Go through and fiddle through each and every one. You will find out where it is. I'm just giving you an overview of how this interface works. Then on the select, you'll be able to, select up certain parts or objects or subjects in your workspace or your artboards. You can also select up multiple artboards just by going through the select tab. Then we have is effects. All of the effects which you want to apply on your workspace or any of the elements which you want to make are going to be over here. It could be Photoshop effects. It could also be Illustrator effects. Okay, try using that. You can also apply the, last filter, last effect. Okay, you can try doing that or, get idea of what effect which you've applied last. Then we have is the viewing tab. In here, you will find out what type of view or what type of preferences do you want on your workspace or your artboard. And do you want it zoomed in? Do you want to hide the margins? You want to hide the grids? You want to hide, hidden characters? You want to go into presentation mode, screening mode, overprint preview, hide edges, rulers, everything. Anything which you want to be available or, you want to represent on your screen or you want it to help you to customize your workspace so that it makes your work a lot more better or faster, you're going to go through this viewing tab. Okay. So try doing that. It will be a lot helpful. Then we have the Windows tab. All of, let's say the tools section, then the workspace, new windows. Let's say I have a couple of toolbars over here. We have this comments. If I close this comments, how will I get it back? So if you want to get it back, just go off the windows. Here we have comments. Now, if I clicked on that, now this workspace has opened up. Then we have this artboards. If I remove it, close, I can also go back over here and click on artboards and that will appear up back on my workspace. So that is basically how this Windows tab works and it is very essential. Okay. It is very essential. You can try using that. Fiddle through these options. There you will find out a lot of tools which you want to use or which you would love to use if you're working on Adobe Illustrator. Okay. And the last one is just very simple. It's just the help tab. You can, get access or you can, directly watch some tutorials, get help from Illustrator directly. You can give your feedbacks, manage your own accounts, all of that. So basically this is, the ribbon or the tabs. Okay. Then we have a couple of tools over here. Well, these are also a couple of tools. Okay. On the left side of we have the toolbar or the tool, section. You'll be able to also minimize it if you want to. You can see it over here. You'll be able to also cut it. It's up to you. You can see, you can dock it up if you want to. It's up to you. Okay. On the right side, we also have the properties panel and also a couple of tools, which you'll be able to keep it over here as your extension or as your windows. So this is basically how it works. On the bottom, we have sliders. On the left side, we also have sliders over here. And you can a couple of things over here. Now you can also customize it the way you want. You can arrange your document just the way you want. We also have, what type of window selected from here. So now you know how, the workspace of Adobe Illustrator works. If you want to go back home, you can just take you back to where you were. You can open up your new file, or you can just press on this one over again, and it will take you back to your workspace. Be able to open up new projects or new documents whenever you want. How would you do that? Click on File, click, and it will open up this, pop-up window again. From here, you're going to do select up, which, let's say I want this right now. I'm going to press on Create. It will open up that preset, or it will open up that artboard in Adobe Illustrator without even closing up the first one. Okay? So now you know how Adobe Illustrator works, or the basics of Adobe, on how you are going to fiddle through these options. Because in our next lesson, I'm going to be showing you or introducing vector graphics, say the formats or the essential graphic or essential documents of Adobe Illustrator, or what you can create. For watching this video up till the very end, and hope you understood about everything. If you still have any confusion or any question, part of the lesson, feel free to ask me anytime. I will always be there to help you out. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that I have a resource folder with this whole course. If you need any help, if you need help from those resources or you can't find it out, you can. I'm also going to be showing you a couple of sites in my next lesson so that you can download it from that site, which is going to be royalty free so that you can use them on socials, on client-based works, and even your projects. So thank you again for watching this video up till the very end. Further ado, let's just hop on to our next lesson where I'm going to be introducing vector graphics in Adobe Illustrator.